Let's be completely honest for a second. Staring down a massive, dense, technical manual on how to submit course files for an LMS build, yeah, that is definitely not how you want to spend your afternoon. You're busy, you've got content to launch, and honestly, reading a huge PDF on formatting feels like a massive roadblock. Well, you're in exactly the right place. In this explainer, we're basically doing the heavy lifting for you. We're going to extract every single crucial detail from the LearnDash course structure and content submission guide so you don't have to read it. We're bypassing the headache and perfectly prepping those course files for your developers in one fast sweep.
Okay, so here's our game plan for today. We'll hit the 4 handover questions, master the learning hierarchy, figure out how to split your training content, write some crystal clear builder notes, and wrap up with file organization and a final checklist.
Let's dive right into Section 1, the 4 handover questions. Think of this as the ultimate foundation you've got to lay down before any single line of code is written or any actual building begins. Because here's the thing, the biggest threat to your project timeline, it's not coding bugs, it's structural ambiguity. If your developers have to start shifting lessons, moving topics, or rearranging quizzes after they've already started building, man, your timeline and your budget are going to take a massive hit. You absolutely have to plan the flow before they build. So what exact questions must your handover answer to stop this from happening?
It all boils down to 4 critical questions. Number 1, what's the complete learning outcome of the course? Number 2, what exactly should the learner complete first, next, and last? Number 3, which specific file, activity, or assessment belongs at each of those steps? And number 4, what has to happen before a learner is actually allowed to progress or finish the course? Answering these correctly forms the entire backbone of your course flow document. If you don't know these answers, your developer definitely won't either, and they'll just end up guessing. And trust me, we do not want developers guessing.
Moving right along to Section 2, Mastering the Learning Hierarchy.
Okay, so there is a golden rule in LearnDash that you have to wrap your head around. The system structure is incredibly rigid, even if the labels you stick on it aren't. Think about this hierarchy kind of like building a house. The course is your overall blueprint, right? It's the complete learning journey with one overarching outcome. Inside that house, you have rooms. Those are your lessons, which basically group related activities around a broader objective. And inside those rooms, you have furniture. Those are your topics. And finally, you've got quizzes to check if everything is in order.
Let's actually zoom in on that topic level for a second, because this is the fundamental building block. This is where the actual granular learning happens. A topic is a highly focused learning activity, teaching exactly one concept, one skill, or one action. If you're teaching someone how to bake a cake, the topic isn't the whole recipe. It's just how to measure flour. The golden rule here, it should comfortably be completed in a single sitting and then marked complete as a meaningful step forward.
Now, I know you might be thinking, but wait, we don't even use the words course or lesson at my company. Totally fine. LearnDash absolutely lets you change the terminology to fit your specific organization. A corporate training setup might use program, module, and activity. A school might go with subject, unit, and class. But, and this is a big but, the underlying learning hierarchy literally never changes. The top level is always the journey, the middle is the section, and the lowest is the focused activity. Just pick your terms once and stick to them everywhere.
All right, let's hit Section 3, Splitting your training content.
This is where the rubber meets the road. How do you actually take a massive training document and break it down so it makes sense in the system? The trick is knowing exactly when to hit enter and start a brand new topic in your flow document. So, watch out for these signals. Split your content when the media changes, like if you're moving from reading text to watching a video. Split it when a new objective begins, or honestly, split it if the content is just way too long for one sitting. You also want to create a new topic if a quiz is required before moving on, if a facilitator needs to report on the completion of that specific activity, or if you think you might reuse that exact piece of content somewhere else down the line.
Once you've got everything split up, you have to hand it over the right way. Please, whatever you do, don't send your developer a messy draft and just say, hey, can you clean this up? For written content, they need final proofread text. For video or audio, give them the final media file or an approved link, plus exact placement instructions. And for downloads like PDFs or spreadsheets, they need the final file and the exact link text the learner is going to see. Keep in mind too, a single topic can absolutely hold more than one of these media types as long as they support the exact same learning purpose, like, say, a short video followed by a quick text summary.
Which brings us to Section 4, Writing Clear Builder Notes. We are now tackling one of the most embarrassing pitfalls in LMS builds, developers accidentally pasting your internal instructions straight into the final learner-facing course. Yep, it happens all the time. You have to explicitly tag developer instructions to eliminate literally all the guesswork. If you just scribble notes in the margins or use a slightly different font color, it's going to get missed. You absolutely must use a consistent, unmissable label, like typing Builder Note in all caps, so those implementation directions never ever end up in front of your learners.
Let's look at the stark contrast between these two approaches. If you just write, put the video somewhere here, you are straight up inviting chaos. You're basically playing hide and seek with your own content. Your developer has to guess which video you mean and exactly where here actually is. Instead, use something like this. Builder Note. Place L01_T02_fixed_variable.mp4 below the second paragraph. See the difference there? Using exact file names and explicit positional instructions is going to save everyone so much time, money, and those endless revision cycles.
And finally, Section 5, File Organization and Checklist. Okay, we've mapped the flow, we've split the content, now we have to actually package it up physically so nothing gets lost in the mail. Notice the absolute precision of this kind of folder structure. You want a master folder for the course and then subfolders for Lesson 01, Lesson 02, and so on. Inside those, your files need to be named so they exactly match their place in the hierarchy, like LO1_T01_income versus expenses.docx. I promise you, when a developer opens a folder formatted this clearly, they know exactly what to build without having to ask a single question.
And right alongside naming is version control. One of the biggest causes of project delays is sending over a zipped folder filled with files named final, final_v2, and actually _final_use this one. We've all been there, right? Stick to super simple formats, VO1, VO2, and crucially, approved. Never, ever send duplicate final files. The content pack you hand over should literally only contain the officially approved current versions, nothing else.
Let's actually use our agenda as a final quality check before you hit submit on that handover. Number 1, are the course details, outcomes, and labels completely confirmed? 2, is the flow document 100% complete? 3, does every single item point to an exact, perfectly named file or link? 4, are your builder notes cleanly separated from the learner text? And number 5, has a project owner actually reviewed and approved the final structure?
And that brings us to our final thought. That LearnDash manual, it's dense for a reason, because precision really matters in this stuff. But by applying this blueprint, you've completely bypassed all that tedious reading and unlocked the exact formula for a flawless handover. So I'll leave you with this question. Take a look at the current state of your training content. Are your course files structured right now for a completely smooth build, or are they destined to cause a massive project delay? The power to decide is entirely in your folders. Thanks for joining me on this explainer, and hey, happy building.